Ladies and gentlemen, what if I told you you're not lost, not failing, not behind, just closer than you've ever been, closer to the breakthrough, the moment, the success you've been working for, but didn't know was already reaching back toward you. Life is a journey, and along that journey, you will encounter crossroads, moments where you need to pause, reflect, and decide whether it's time for a big change. Change isn't always easy, but it's often necessary for growth, progress, and fulfillment. The question you need to ask yourself is, are you ready for a change? If you are experiencing any of the following signs, it may be time to embrace the new path that awaits you. When you're in a state of stagnation, it often feels as though you're trapped in a loop, waking up, going through the motions, and repeating the same cycle day in and day out. Over time, this feeling of being stuck can start to wear you down mentally, emotionally, and even physically. You may feel like you're going through the motions, but not truly living or thriving. This is a significant sign that it's time for a change. It's not that life is necessarily bad, it's just that it's become predictable, monotonous, and uninspiring. Being stuck doesn't necessarily mean you're not making progress. It may mean that you're making progress in the wrong direction. Perhaps you've built a successful career or attained a level of achievement that should bring satisfaction, but you don't feel fulfilled. The results of your efforts aren't matching your expectations, and the spark of passion you once had for your work, your relationships, or your goals is now dimming. This is a signal that you're ready for a transformation. Many people mistake comfort for contentment. Just because you're in a routine and have achieved a level of stability doesn't mean you're thriving. In fact, comfort can be one of the most dangerous traps to fall into. Comfort zones create a false sense of security, and they prevent you from growing. You become resistant to taking risks, trying new things, or challenging yourself to evolve. As a result, you may find yourself in a state of quiet frustration, where you know something isn't quite right, but you're not sure what needs to change. Sometimes, the feeling of being stuck is a result of a lack of challenge. Humans are wired to grow and learn. When we stop growing, we begin to stagnate. If you're not being challenged mentally, emotionally, or physically, you may feel like you're wasting your potential. Life can start to feel dull because the thrill of discovery, the joy of learning, and the excitement of conquering challenges have all faded into the background. If you aren't actively pushing yourself to improve, you can easily get trapped in this state of inertia. When you feel stuck, it's also possible that your aspirations or goals no longer align with the person you've become. The goals you set years ago may have been in line with the person you were at that time, but as you grow, your values, desires, and dreams may shift. This is natural. People change, and so should their goals. If you're holding on to old goals that no longer excite you or align with your vision, it may be time to reassess and set new goals that reflect who you are now. The emotional toll of being stuck is real. It can manifest as a deep sense of frustration, dissatisfaction, or even anxiety. When you're stuck, it's easy to feel disconnected from your purpose. You might start questioning your choices and wondering if you're wasting precious time. Over time, this emotional drain can lead to burnout, feelings of inadequacy, and a lack of motivation to push forward. These are all signs that the status quo is no longer serving you and that change is necessary. It's also important to acknowledge that feeling stuck can stem from a lack of clarity. Without a clear vision of what you want or where you're headed, it's easy to feel lost and unsure of your next step. You may have a vague sense of dissatisfaction, but you can't pinpoint exactly why or what needs to change. This lack of clarity keeps you in a state of confusion and indecision. It's only when you take the time to reflect, gain clarity, and create a vision for your life that you can begin to break free from this feeling of being stuck. Recognizing that you're stuck is the first step toward transformation. The awareness that something isn't right in your life creates the opportunity for change. Once you acknowledge this feeling, you can begin to explore new possibilities, set new goals, and take action toward a more fulfilling and purposeful life. Being stuck is never permanent, but it requires awareness and willingness to act. When you choose to confront the discomfort of being stuck, you unlock the potential for growth and create the space for positive change to occur. Values are the guiding principles that shape who you are and how you navigate through life. They define what's truly important to you and serve as the foundation for the decisions you make, the goals you set, and the actions you take. When your life or work no longer aligns with your values, it creates a deep sense of internal conflict. This misalignment can drain your energy, undermine your motivation, and cause you to feel lost, disconnected, or even resentful. It's a clear sign that something needs to change, because living out of alignment with your values is not sustainable in the long run. Values are unique to each individual. What is significant to one person may not hold the same weight for another. For example, if one of your core values is freedom, but you find yourself in a job or relationship that feels restrictive, you'll experience tension and dissatisfaction. Similarly, if you value creativity and independence, but your work requires conformity and routine, you'll likely feel stifled and uninspired. These feelings of discomfort are signals that your values are no longer being honored, and that you need to reassess your situation. Misalignment with your values can also manifest in a sense of purpose lost. When you're not living in accordance with what you believe to be truly important, your sense of purpose becomes diluted. Work can feel meaningless, relationships can feel shallow, and your daily activities may start to feel like a waste of time. This loss of purpose is one of the most difficult experiences to navigate, because it affects your sense of self. It's important to recognize that purpose is not something you can find in external accomplishments or validation. It's rooted in your inner values. When those values are neglected, your sense of purpose diminishes. The danger of ignoring this misalignment is that it can lead to long-term dissatisfaction and burnout. People often stay in situations that aren't in alignment with their values out of fear of change, fear of the unknown, or fear of disappointing others. However, continuing down this path only compounds the problem. It creates a life that feels unfulfilling and devoid of meaning, leading to frustration and a sense of disconnection. The longer you stay in situations that conflict with your values, the more difficult it becomes to escape, because you become emotionally and mentally entrenched in the status quo. Living out of alignment with your values can also diminish your personal integrity. When your actions don't reflect your beliefs, it causes internal friction. You may feel like a fraud, as though you're pretending to be someone you're not, or doing things that go against your true nature. This can cause a lack of confidence and self-respect, as you're constantly fighting against the person you know yourself to be. Over time, this erosion of self-respect can create negative consequences, not just in your professional life, but also in your personal relationships and self-esteem. When you make decisions or take actions that align with your values, it creates a sense of fulfillment and authenticity. Living authentically allows you to feel more at peace with who you are. It provides clarity, confidence, and a sense of direction. When your work, relationships, and lifestyle reflect your values, you are more likely to experience satisfaction and success because you are in harmony with your true self. You feel motivated by a deep sense of purpose rather than driven by external pressures or expectations. Reevaluating your values regularly is a critical practice for staying aligned with what matters most to you. As life progresses, you evolve, and so do your values. What once felt significant may lose its importance, while new values emerge to take their place. Taking the time to assess what you truly believe in and how you want to live your life helps ensure that you're not stagnating in situations that no longer serve you. Values don't have to remain static. They can adapt, grow, and shift as your life experiences deepen and your priorities evolve. Aligning with your values requires conscious effort and intentional choices. It might mean making difficult decisions, such as leaving a job that no longer resonates with your passions, ending a relationship that doesn't support your personal growth, or letting go of old goals that no longer align with who you've become. But the rewards of living in alignment with your values are immeasurable. It leads to a life of authenticity, fulfillment, and peace. So pay attention to the ways in which your life is out of sync with your core beliefs, and take the necessary steps to realign. Stagnation is one of the most powerful signals that it's time for a big change. When your efforts fail to yield the results you're striving for, despite consistent hard work, it can be a deeply frustrating experience. You may feel as though you're putting in the hours, expending energy, and doing everything you're supposed to do, yet your progress seems minimal or non-existent. This stagnation is not only frustrating, it's draining. It can leave you questioning whether your efforts are in vain, and it can lead to a sense of hopelessness or complacency if left unchecked. When you're stuck in this state, it's crucial to take a step back and assess the bigger picture, because sometimes no matter how hard you try, it's the strategy itself that needs to change. The first sign of stagnation is the lack of progress. When you put effort into something, whether it's a career, a business venture, or a personal goal, and the outcome remains the same, it's easy to feel discouraged. The initial excitement or momentum that may have once fueled you has long since faded. You've reached a plateau. This plateau can feel like a dead zone where no amount of hard work or determination seems to break you through. Progress is a key indicator of success and fulfillment. Without it, you begin to feel trapped in a cycle that won't budge. It's important to realize that this isn't just a temporary dip, it's a sign that a change in approach is needed. Stagnation can also manifest in a lack of innovation or creativity. When you find yourself repeatedly tackling problems in the same old way and achieving the same old results, it becomes clear that the solutions you've been using are no longer effective. Stagnation doesn't just happen in terms of measurable success, it can also show up in your creativity and ideas. The excitement of new ideas and projects that once inspired you is replaced with routine and repetition. You might feel like you've run out of ideas, or that nothing seems to inspire you anymore. This is the creative stagnation that many people experience at different points in their lives, and it's often a sign that it's time to step outside your comfort zone and look for new perspectives. Sometimes stagnation is tied to a lack of vision. You may have been moving forward in a particular direction, but after a certain point you realize that you no longer have the clarity of purpose or excitement that you once did. Without a clear, compelling vision for the future, it's easy to lose direction. You might still be working hard, but it's not bringing you any closer to the life you want. The result is a feeling of aimlessness. If you no longer have a sense of where you're headed or why you're working toward a particular goal, it's a major red flag. This lack of vision can cause you to feel stagnant in both your personal and professional life. The trap of stagnation often stems from a fear of change. People can become attached to routines and familiar environments, even when they're no longer serving their growth. There's a sense of comfort in the known, but this comfort can also breed complacency. You might resist making any changes because you fear the unknown or feel overwhelmed by the effort it would take to change course. This fear keeps you stuck in the same place, unable to move forward. But stagnation breeds frustration, and frustration can eventually lead to burnout. When you allow yourself to remain in a stagnant situation due to fear, it only prolongs the dissatisfaction that you're already feeling. Stagnation can also impact your mindset. When you're not seeing results, it's easy to slip into negative thinking patterns. You may start doubting your abilities or questioning whether you're good enough. These thoughts can lead to a downward spiral where you focus more on your perceived limitations than on the possibilities available to you. The longer you stay in a stagnant state, the harder it becomes to break out of it, because your mindset becomes more rigid and defeated. The key is to recognize that stagnation is not a reflection of your worth or your potential. It's simply a sign that something needs to change. A significant factor in stagnation is the absence of feedback or growth opportunity. If you're in an environment where there's no feedback, whether from colleagues, mentors, or personal experiences, you might fail to see where you're going wrong or how to improve. Growth doesn't just happen on its own, it requires an environment of continuous learning and adaptation. If you've stopped receiving constructive criticism, new challenges, or fresh perspectives, it can create a false sense of security. You might feel like you're doing everything right, but without the necessary input to keep growing, stagnation sets in. To break free from this, you need to actively seek feedback, surround yourself with people who challenge and inspire you, and continuously push yourself to learn. The most important thing to recognize about stagnation is that it's not a permanent state. Just because you're not seeing progress right now doesn't mean you won't see it in the future. Stagnation is a signal, a call to action that you can no longer ignore. It's telling you that the current path you're on may not be the right one, and it's time to reassess. Sometimes all it takes is a shift in strategy, a new approach, or a fresh set of goals to break free from this plateau. The key is not to resign yourself to it, but to use it as a springboard for transformation. Stagnation doesn't define your future, it simply defines where you are right now. The power to change lies in your hands. The people you surround yourself with play a vital role in shaping your mindset, attitude, and ultimately, your success. They influence how you think, how you feel, and how you approach life's challenge. If you find that your environment is filled with individuals who bring you down, hold you back, or fail to support your dreams and goals, it's a clear sign that you need to make a change. The people around you either uplift you or drag you down, and if you're constantly surrounded by negativity, doubt, or complacency, it becomes almost impossible to move forward in a meaningful way. Toxic relationships can drain your energy and lower your self-esteem. It's easy to overlook the effects that negative people have on your mental and emotional well-being, especially when they've been a part of your life for a long time. But over time, the impact becomes undeniable. If you're constantly engaging with people who criticize you, belittle your aspirations, or make you feel like your dreams are unrealistic, it becomes difficult to maintain the motivation to pursue your goals. Their negativity seeps into your mindset, causing you to doubt your potential, question your choices, and wonder if you're chasing something that's unattainable. Even seemingly neutral or passive relationships can hold you back. You may have friends, family members, or colleagues who aren't actively negative, but who lack the enthusiasm or drive to push you to the next level. They may not outright discourage you, but their indifference to your success or their lack of excitement for your progress can have the same effect. Surrounding yourself with people who are content with the status quo can limit your growth because you're not being challenged or inspired to reach higher. These individuals might be comfortable with where they are in life, but their complacency can make it harder for you to break free from your own limitations. The key to progress is to surround yourself with individuals who challenge and inspire you. You need people who encourage you to dream bigger, who hold you accountable for your actions, and who believe in your potential even when you doubt it. These are the people who push you out of your comfort zone, force you to rethink your limitations, and remind you of your true capability. When you're surrounded by people who lift you up, you feel energized, motivated, and supported. Their belief in you becomes a reflection of your own belief in yourself, and together you create a dynamic of growth and possibility. Additionally, being surrounded by like-minded individuals can open doors to new opportunities and ideas. When you interact with people who share similar ambitions or values, you can exchange knowledge, learn from each other, and collaborate in ways that benefit everyone. These connections not only help you grow, but they also expand your network and expose you to new perspectives. Being in a circle that challenges you to think differently or act more boldly can spark creativity and innovation in ways that would be impossible in a stagnant or unmotivated environment. The people who uplift you are not always those who tell you what you want to hear. Sometimes the most supportive people are the ones who challenge you directly, provide constructive feedback, and push you to be better. True support doesn't come from constant affirmation or agreement.
it comes from a place of honesty and mutual growth. People who genuinely want to see you succeed will tell you when you're off track, offer insights into how you can improve, and help you navigate the difficulties of life. Their feedback, though sometimes tough to hear, is what helps you refine your vision and sharpen your approach. Another important aspect of being surrounded by uplifting people is the shared sense of accountability. When you're in a group or network that holds you accountable, you're more likely to stay focused on your goals and stay committed to your growth. Accountability isn't about pressure, it's about creating an environment where everyone is pushing each other to be their best selves. These individuals remind you of your commitments and help you stay on track, offering encouragement and support along the way. The accountability of a strong, supportive group can provide the momentum you need to make significant strides in your life and career. It's important to recognize that you don't have to completely cut ties with everyone who doesn't uplift you, but it may be necessary to reassess the depth of those relationships. If someone consistently holds you back or makes you feel small, it might be time to distance yourself from them, at least for a while. This doesn't mean cutting people out of your life completely, it means prioritizing your own growth and well-being. Create boundaries with those who bring negativity or complacency into your life, and make more room for relationships that nourish and inspire you. Surrounding yourself with positive, uplifting individuals is not just about finding people who are supportive, it's about creating a network of people who are aligned with your values, who challenge you, and who will push you toward greater success.
A strong desire for something bigger is one of the most powerful indicators that it's time for significant change. This yearning often manifests as a deep, insistent pull inside of you, an inner voice that refuses to be ignored, urging you to aim higher, dream larger, and reach beyond your current circumstances. It's the kind of feeling that keeps you awake at night, thinking about your potential, your goals, and your future. It's the recognition that the life you're currently living is not the full expression of who you are or who you could become. This desire for something bigger is a signal that you're ready to evolve and grow, that it's time to stop settling for mediocrity and start striving for excellence. This desire can show up in many forms: a longing for a more fulfilling career, the wish to make a greater impact in the world, the desire to improve your health, or the dream of living a life that's in full alignment with your values. Whatever form it takes, this urge for something more is powerful because it taps into your deepest sense of purpose and potential. It pulls you out of complacency, urging you to stop accepting the status quo and instead strive for a future that excites you. If you're feeling this internal pull, it's not by accident. It's a sign that you're being called to something greater. Having a strong desire for something bigger often comes with feelings of discontent with your current situation. It's not that you're unhappy per se, but you're aware that there's more to life than what you're currently experiencing. You may find yourself looking at others who are living their dreams, achieving things that you aspire to, and feeling a sense of longing within yourself. This longing isn't rooted in jealousy or envy, but rather in a recognition of your own untapped potential. When you feel this way, it's a sign that you're no longer satisfied with what is, you're actively seeking what could be. This desire for something bigger can also reveal itself through a sense of restlessness. You might feel like there's a fire burning within you that you can't fully explain. You know deep down that you are capable of achieving more, making a greater impact, or living a life that is more aligned with your deepest values. This restlessness is not a negative feeling, rather it's a wake-up call. It's a powerful invitation to stop playing small and to start playing big. The desire for something bigger is calling you to step outside your comfort zone and embrace the challenges and risks that come with real growth and transformation. When you feel the desire for something bigger, it often leads to a reevaluation of your goal. You may start to question your current direction and wonder if your efforts are aligned with your true potential. This questioning is a natural part of the process, It's your mind and heart seeking a more meaningful path. You may find that some of the goals you once had no longer excite you or inspire you. They may have been goals that you set based on what you thought you should do, not what you truly wanted. When your desires evolve, so should your goal. This is the time to redefine what success means to you and set new, more inspiring goals that align with the larger vision you're now chasing. As you begin to embrace the desire for something bigger, you may also start to feel a sense of urgency. The realization that time is precious and that life is short can accelerate this desire. You may recognize that you've already spent a significant amount of time in pursuit of goals that didn't fully align with your passions or purpose. Now, with this newfound sense of urgency, you realize that the time to act is now. You may feel a deep need to take bold action, whether that's changing careers, pursuing a new passion, or making a shift in your personal life. This sense of urgency fuels the drive to make the change, propelling you to take steps toward your bigger dreams. The desire for something bigger also requires a shift in mindset. It's easy to stay stuck in the limiting beliefs and negative thought patterns that have held you back in the past. However, to step into something bigger, you need to embrace a growth mindset. This means seeing challenges as opportunities for growth, viewing failures as learning experiences, and believing that you are capable of achieving what you set your mind to. A mindset shift is essential to moving from a place of longing to a place of action. The belief that you can create the future you desire will fuel your motivation and drive as you work toward that bigger vision. Moreover, the desire for something bigger is often rooted in a need for fulfillment. Many people feel that something is missing in their lives, even if they've achieved external success. The longing for more is not always about material wealth or external recognition. It's about finding a deeper sense of purpose and meaning. When you desire something bigger, you are often seeking personal growth, deeper connections, and a life that feels truly worthwhile. This desire may push you to develop new skills, take on new challenges, or pursue passions that you've put aside for too long. It's about finding your true calling, and this sense of purpose can provide the strength and clarity you need to overcome obstacles and push forward toward your bigger dreams. Taking risks is often seen as a hallmark of those who achieve extraordinary success. It's not about recklessness or blindly jumping into the unknown. Rather, it's about having the courage to step outside your comfort zone and pursue opportunities that challenge you. When you're ready for a big change, one of the defining characteristics is your willingness to take risks. You begin to realize that staying in the safety of what you know is holding you back from experiencing the growth and success that you're capable of. This readiness to embrace uncertainty is often the first step in breaking free from the limitations that have kept you stuck for so long. Risk-taking is essential for growth. It's easy to remain in your comfort zone where things feel predictable and safe, but in that space growth stagnates. To move forward, you have to take action that challenges your current situation. This could mean pursuing a new career, investing in a business, or making a significant life change. Taking risks is what propels you from the mundane into the realm of possibility. It forces you to confront your fears, question your assumptions, and stretch beyond what you thought was possible. When you're willing to take risks, you open the door to a new reality that would have remained locked if you stayed in the confines of your comfort zone. Risk-taking also requires a shift in perspective. Most people view risk as something to avoid, but successful people understand that risk is not the opposite of safety. It's the pathway to opportunity. Instead of seeing risk as dangerous, they see it as necessary for growth. It's the fear of the unknown and the discomfort that comes with stepping into uncharted territory that often holds people back. But those who embrace risk learn how to manage it. They understand that the reward of stepping into the unknown often far outweighs the temporary discomfort of uncertainty. The fear of failure becomes less intimidating
when you recognize that risk is a fundamental part of achieving success. One of the key elements of risk-taking is the ability to tolerate uncertainty. It's easy to stay where everything is known and controlled, but growth doesn't happen in that space. The willingness to take risks requires you to embrace uncertainty and trust that you will adapt as you. Risk takers are not immune to fear or doubt. They simply don't let those emotions dictate their actions. They move forward despite uncertainty, knowing that the path to success is rarely linear. With every step you gain new experiences, learn from mistakes, and refine your approach. Taking calculated risks allows you to develop resilience, adaptability, and confidence, qualities that are essential for long-term success. Another important aspect of risk-taking is learning how to manage failure. Failure is often seen as something to avoid, but those who take risks understand that failure is an inevitable part of the process. They don't fear failure because they know that it brings valuable lessons. Each failure is an opportunity to learn, to adjust, and to improve. When you're willing to take risks, you understand that setbacks are not permanent roadblocks. They are stepping stones on the way to success. The ability to view failure as feedback rather than defeat is a key mindset shift that allows you to keep moving forward no matter how many times you stumble along the way. Risk-taking also demands self-trust. To take a risk, you must have faith in your abilities and your judgment. If you doubt yourself, the fear of failure will paralyze you, but when you trust that you have the skills, resilience, and resourcefulness to handle whatever comes your way, you're more likely to take bold action. Trusting yourself means acknowledging that you have the capacity to handle challenges and setbacks, and that you'll grow stronger with each experience. It's this trust that enables you to take risks with confidence, knowing that no matter the outcome, you'll be able to learn and adapt. Taking risks is not just about business or career. It can also apply to your personal life. It may involve stepping out of your comfort zone in relationships, pursuing passions you've long ignored, or letting go of toxic situations that no longer serve you. Personal growth often requires taking risks, whether it's in how you relate to others or how you relate to yourself. The willingness to take risks in your personal life often leads to deeper connections, stronger boundaries, and a more authentic way of living. Embracing risk in all areas of your life allows you to expand your horizons and embrace opportunities for growth that you might have once avoided out of fear. Finally, taking risks is a mindset that fuels momentum. When you take one risk, it often leads to taking more. Each step outside your comfort zone builds your confidence and prepares you for the next challenge. The more you risk, the more you grow, and the more you realize that taking risks isn't as daunting as it becomes a habit, a way of thinking that propels you toward your goals and keeps you moving forward even in the face of adversity. As you embrace risk-taking, you find that the rewards, whether they come in the form of success, learning, or growth, far outweigh the fear of failure. At some point in your journey, you may realize that the environment you're in no longer supports the person you're becoming or the goals you're trying to achieve. This realization can be both freeing and unsettling. It's natural to feel a deep connection to the spaces and people that have been a part of your life, but growth requires change. If you've outgrown your current environment, it's a sign that it's time to make a shift. Whether it's your job, your social circle, or even your living situation, staying in an environment that no longer aligns with your aspirations can hinder your progress and prevent you from reaching your full potential. Your environment includes more than just the physical space you occupy. It encompasses the people you interact with, the culture you're immersed in, and the mindset that's encouraged around you. When you're in an environment that fosters stagnation, complacency, or negativity, it can be incredibly difficult to break free from these influences. Over time, you might begin to feel disconnected from your goals and your sense of purpose. The energy of the environment around you becomes a reflection of the energy within you, and if that environment doesn't inspire growth, neither will you. One of the first signs that you've outgrown your environment is that you start to feel a sense of dissatisfaction with the people and activities that once brought you fulfillment. You may have enjoyed certain friendships or hobbies in the past, but now they feel limiting or unmotivated. These activities may no longer resonate with the new version of yourself, the person you're becoming as you grow and evolve. As you embark on new challenges and set higher goals, you start to notice that your old habits, friends, or routines no longer provide the support or excitement you need. This sense of disconnect is a strong signal that it's time to reassess the spaces and relationships you're investing in. Similarly, if you're working in an environment that stifles creativity or limits your potential, it's time to recognize that the job, career, or company you're with may no longer be a good fit. You might feel unappreciated, underutilized, or even bored with your daily tasks. When you've outgrown your job or business, it's not necessarily that you're ungrateful for the opportunity, it's that you're capable of more. The desire for a greater challenge, deeper impact, or more meaningful work will grow stronger. If your current role no longer aligns with your vision or goals, it can quickly become a barrier to your progress. Recognizing this allows you to take action toward finding or creating an environment that encourages your growth. At times, outgrowing your environment might mean outgrowing certain belief systems. These beliefs might have been ingrained in you by your family, society, or culture, and while they served you at one point, they no longer align with who you are becoming. You might begin to challenge old ideas about money, success, relationships, or happiness that once held sway over your decisions. As you develop your own identity and values, you start to realize that these outdated beliefs are limiting your potential. In this case, the environment that needs to change is not just external but internal. You may need to shift your mindset, break free from limiting beliefs, and embrace a new way of thinking that better serves your goal. The people around you can be one of the most significant influences on your environment. If you're constantly surrounded by individuals who hold you back, whether through negative attitudes, jealousy, or a lack of ambition, it's easy to feel stuck. As you grow and pursue your dreams, you may find that certain relationships become toxic or unsupportive. These people may try to drag you down, make you question your decisions, or impose their own fears and limitations onto you. You might even feel guilty for wanting to outgrow these relationships, but it's important to recognize that your personal growth should never be hindered by the negativity of others. Sometimes it's necessary to distance yourself from individuals who no longer contribute positively to your life. As you outgrow your environment, the desire to connect with new like-minded individuals becomes more pressing. You'll seek out people who challenge you, inspire you, and push you toward your highest potential. This may involve finding a mentor who can guide you through the next phase of your journey, or joining communities that share your values and ambitions. Surrounding yourself with individuals who understand your drive and vision is essential for your growth. These new relationships will provide the support, encouragement, and motivation you need as you pursue bigger and bolder goals. With the right environment, your ability to move forward becomes exponentially greater. Leaving behind an environment that no longer serves you can be a difficult and emotional decision, especially if you've invested a lot of time and energy into it. But staying in an environment that stifles your growth can lead to feelings of frustration, burnout, and disillusion. When you recognize that your current environment no longer supports the person you're becoming, it's essential to have the courage to make a change. Whether that change involves finding a new job, moving to a new city, or severing ties with relationships that no longer serve you, it's a necessary step in your growth journey. Embracing this change will open up space for new opportunities, fresh perspectives, and a more fulfilling life. The process of outgrowing your environment can feel unsettling at first, but it's a crucial part of personal evolution. It's an invitation to create a new environment that aligns with your values, aspirations, and future goals. As you start to build the space around you that nurtures your growth, you'll notice a shift in your energy and mindset. You'll find yourself more motivated, more inspired, and more aligned with the person you want to become. By recognizing when you've outgrown your current environment, you can take the necessary steps to design an environment that truly supports your success and well-being. The fear of uncertainty can keep you trapped in situations that no longer serve you, preventing you from taking bold steps toward growth and transformation. However, when you reach a point where you are no longer afraid of the unknown, it's a powerful indicator that you are ready for significant change. This shift in mindset is a game changer. It means that you've reached a level of personal development where you trust in your ability to handle whatever comes your way, regardless of how uncertain or unfamiliar it may seem. The fear of the unknown often stems from the discomfort of leaving behind the familiar. People tend to stick with what they know because it feels safe, even if it's not ideal or fulfilling. The thought of venturing into uncharted territory can trigger anxiety and self-doubt. But when you are no longer afraid of the unknown, you begin to see uncertainty as an opportunity, not a threat. You start to recognize that true growth and success lie in stepping outside your comfort zone and embracing the possibilities that come with change. Rather than clinging to what you already know, you're willing to face the discomfort and explore new horizons with confidence. A major shift occurs when you realize that uncertainty is not something to avoid but something to lean into. The unknown represents possibility, and possibility is where your dreams and potential lie. Instead of being paralyzed by fear, you begin to view the unknown as a blank canvas, waiting for you to paint your future. This mindset allows you to approach challenges with excitement, rather than dread. The ability to embrace the unknown without fear opens the door to taking risks, making bold decisions, and exploring new paths that you might have otherwise avoided due to fear of failure or the unfamiliar. Not being afraid of the unknown doesn't mean that you're immune to fear. It means that you've learned how to navigate it. Fear is a natural human response to uncertainty, but it doesn't have to control your action. When you reach a point where you're no longer afraid, you start to view fear as something that can be managed, not something that must be avoided at all costs. You develop the emotional resilience to move forward despite the fear. The key to overcoming fear of the unknown is not eliminating it, but learning to take action despite it. This ability to act in the face of fear is what separates those who make big changes from those who stay stuck in their comfort zone. The freedom that comes with not being afraid of the unknown also allows you to pursue your passions and ambitions with more intensity. When fear no longer holds you back, you can fully embrace the things that excite you and push you toward the life you've always wanted. Whether it's starting a new business, pursuing a career change, or taking on a new creative project, the fear of what might happen no longer inhibits your progress. Instead, you begin to trust in your ability to handle the challenges that come with stepping into the unknown. The uncertainty of the future becomes a source of motivation rather than a source of stress. As you embrace the unknown, you also learn to trust in your ability to adapt. The unknown is not a static place. It's fluid and dynamic, requiring you to be flexible and open to change. In the past, you might have resisted change because it felt overwhelming or uncontrollable. But when you are no longer afraid of the unknown, you realize that adaptability is one of your greatest strengths. Life is full of unexpected twists and turns, and the ability to pivot and adjust to new circumstances becomes crucial to your success. This adaptability allows you to take risks with confidence, knowing that even if things don't go as planned, you have the resilience to learn, adjust, and move forward. Not fearing the unknown also helps you break free from perfectionism. Many people hold themselves back from making big changes because they want everything to be perfectly planned before they take action. The fear of making a mistake or failing prevents them from taking the first step. But when you embrace uncertainty, you understand that perfection is an illusion. You start to see failure not as a setback, but as a stepping stone to success. You recognize that mistakes are part of the learning process, and that taking action, even if it's imperfect, is far more valuable than staying stuck in analysis paralysis. This shift allows you to make progress, even when the path ahead is unclear. Another important aspect of no longer fearing the unknown is the ability to trust in the process. When you are open to the unknown, you stop focusing on controlling every detail and start trusting that things will unfold as they are meant to. You let go of the need for certainty and allow yourself to experience the journey. This trust in the process not only reduces stress and anxiety but also creates a sense of peace. You learn to embrace each step, even if it's not exactly what you expect. By trusting that everything is happening for your growth, you release the fear that comes with the unknown and allow yourself to be guided by your intuition, experience, and resilience. As you continue to embrace the unknown, you develop a deeper sense of freedom. The fear of uncertainty is no longer a cage that limits your choices and actions. Instead, the unknown becomes a space where creativity, growth, and possibility thrive. You begin to make decisions based on what excites and inspires you, not on what feels safe or predictable. The liberation that comes from no longer fearing the unknown allows you to live a more authentic and fulfilling life, one that is driven by your passions, values, and vision for the future. This willingness to embrace uncertainty opens up a world of opportunities and experiences that you might have once thought were out of reach. As you embrace the unknown, take risks, and outgrow old environments, remember that the journey is not about perfection, it's about progress. Change is never easy, but it is always necessary for growth. The world around you is constantly shifting, and the key to success lies in your ability to adapt, evolve, and trust yourself along the way. It's in the moments of uncertainty that your true potential shines through, and it's in taking that first step into the unknown that you begin to create a future far beyond what you ever imagined. So if you're feeling that pull, that deep desire for something bigger, recognize it as your invitation to move forward. Know that you are ready, capable, and worthy of every opportunity that lies ahead. The only thing standing between you and the life you dream of is the willingness to step outside your comfort zone and trust in the process. The future is yours to create, and the unknown is not a threat, it's a canvas waiting to be painted with your vision, your experiences, and your unique story. Embrace it, take the leap, and know that with every step, you're not just changing your life, you're unlocking the boundless possibilities that await.